Look what I just did. Hey guys. Um, that was an example of one of the stingers that I downloaded for this show. Well, for me streaming this show. Like I got puppets or something. I mean, I am a talking head, but that's besides the point. So, I do have other stuff going on. I'm sorry that I jumped in 10 minutes late. I I got bogged down. I got way too caught up in what I was doing on another project that I can't show here. So I had to save it all out and then clear it off my plate before I came to this because I didn't want you guys to see it and then violate a portion of the contract. And it's a whole thing. So I had to save files before I closed them. Sorry. I'll be more aware of my time in the future. However, this is what I'm doing right now. I am going to work on my Skies over Gutenberg stuff because 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 I guess we're off to see the wizard. I'm my attention's split here. I'm going to do the Skies over Gutenberg stuff because I have a new project that I'm starting. Well, it's not starting; it's already started, and I have another one, another Manalex page that Alex Gaiazzo sent to me earlier today, and I mean that's I still have to set that up, but I don't want to put you guys through that again. I am going to work on this. Show you guys some color hold tricks. Okay, so color holds are used in the industry primarily to mimic something that gets done in animation, where you use different color lines, border lines, to accent the colors of an article, of something in the panel, in the frame. Well, you can do it in Clip Studio Paint, super easy. What you do is you just create a new layer above, and then you go to your layer settings and you clip to layer below. And what that does is it essentially turns that new layer into an entire clipping mask. And if you have it set to clip to layer below, it's going to mask automatically to all the elements that are in the layer below it. So what I've had this do is I've had this clip to the ink layer below it. And what I have is I have my inks. Come on. There we go. See those inks? I can bring them closer to like an orange. This. I'll do that, and then I'll show you this. A lot of this and that going on. What this allows you to do is change line color, and as long as you're aware of what it is you're doing, you don't really have to worry about using a lasso tool in order to rein all your line work in, which is what you have to do. You have to like use lasso and kind of mask off everything. But you see how that's orange? I don't want that. I don't want that. I want it to be darker. So we're going to touch on that. And I'll bring it down here to make it a more apropos fall color. Look at that. See that right there? Look at that. It looks pretty, right? So let me go to my phone here. Let's see if I can. There we go. I'm going to turn this volume down. This is so I can pay attention if anybody comments or messages or shows up. This is honestly, this is It's a technique that was mastered and invented by Jerry Lewis. There's a little trivia fact that I'm sure none of you knew. Well, maybe a couple of you knew. Jerry Lewis invented the playback. So when you see filmmakers, when they're making a film and they're watching it on a monitor right there as they're filming it, Jerry Lewis invented that technique. A lot of people consider that the man was a buffoon. And what is Jerry Lewis now? Well, I'll tell you what. He knows how to invent the playback. He's a nutty professor and a good film director. Okay. So this is what I'm talking about when I mention the color hold. You see how we've changed the inks from black to like a darker yellow and a more fall red. And those are made possible because the layer that I'm working on now is a clipping layer. It's a clipping mask because I changed the settings on the actual layer itself. It's a real quick thing that Clip Studio allows you to do. It does some amazing stuff. See, so we'll take the leaves that are down there. We'll zoom in. If you get a little seasick while you're watching, I apologize beforehand. So what I'm doing is I'm selecting the leaf color and then I'm moving it down a touch so that it's darker but it's more fall appropriate. And then what I'll do is once I've changed the color hold on a leaf, I will zoom out just a tad and see how it looks. Oh, yeah. See this over here? This will give me a good indicator as to how it will look. I think that looks pretty good. I'm a fan. I think I made those leaves look pretty darn good. But we're not going to spend all night doing that. We're not going to put color holds on leaves. That's not what we're going to do all night long. I mean, it is minutia and we're going to have to handle it, but it's not what the entire stream is going to consist of. Okay. Listen, Linda. I only said that because I want to entertain. And I know my wife is listening to me ramble, and that's kind of funny. That's something we do in this house is we do the listen, Linda. Okay, so that's red. So I can come up here and I can pull this. So is it Thursday? Today's Thursday, right? I lose time sometimes. Let me take a look here. Thursday. Yeah, it's Thursday. Okay. Is everybody having a good week so far? No? Sucks to be you, I guess. That's not nice. That's how we don't do that. Okay, so we're gonna do this. I'm going to toy with this gust of wind until the color holds on the wind itself look okay. So we don't want that, right? It's too blue. It's just not what we want and where we need it to be. So we'll go in here and bring it down here. We'll bring it over to a more muted color. Something that's just really a little more dull. Because the entire scene is, I was talking with my lovely wife earlier today, and we were discussing how the scene, the page, looks really emotional. It looks moody. And yeah, I have conversations like that with my wife. Don't you guys have conversations like that with your spouse? What's wrong with you? What kind of relationship do you have? What's for dinner? I don't know. What do you want? I don't know. What do you want? Are those the type of conversations you have in your house? A dinner conversation in this house, if I'm not being too personal, I'm streaming, so you might say you don't like it. A dinner conversation in this house goes along these lines. Oh my God, you know what I want for dinner tonight? Tacos? Get out of my head, devil woman. That's usually how it goes. I will mention what I want, and she will know exactly what it is. I'll say, guess what I'm thinking for dinner? And she'll know. That tells me she's a witch. She's not a witch. That tells me that we're in sync. We're compati. Compati? Simpatico. Compati. That sounds like some weird Japanese poop thing. Well, look at that. Look at that. Ed Smith with the color holds. Who knew he was capable of such greatness? I knew. I knew all along. The secret was inside of me. Right, so see, this is what we did. And that's generally what a color hold is. You know, can I do it with the grass? Yeah. Should I? No. You don't want to overdo it with color holds. I mean, you just a couple is fine. You start doing color holds, and then you're spending the entire stream putting color holds together. You don't want that. You just don't want to do it. Let's just blur it. Oh, you know what I should do then? Where are the halftones? Turn off the halftones. Oh man, turn off the shade. Get myself some of this. Turn back that on. Come down here. And go a little darker. More towards the gray. Do that. One of the great things about turning your layer into a clipping mask is you don't have to be neat. Well, you do, but not completely. So if you have a large area and you want it to get to be a different color, you can do that. You can kind of do, I don't know if you can tell from the way I draw, from what I talk about, from going to my Facebook page, or from knowing me personally. But I love Hanna-Barbera. So this right here, that color hold, if I were to add a little bit of sponge work to the background, oh, that would be a Montiaug. You know why? This kid. Is it thick paint? Thick paint. Let's do the wash. I'm gonna go here. Can you change shell passing? Keep down. Okay, so we're gonna cancel that. I'll go here. We'll get ourselves a little different. That. Okay. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna come here. Look on that rectangle. And go here. Go do this. You're not really seeing it, are you? But if I go and do it here, you'll see it. Let's change it just a little. This looks very square, papery. Added a little bit of texture there. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it. I'm just watching myself in playback because I had a little weird thing happen. So let's go to our sketch layer. What do we got for that? What's going on in this panel? So I'll do that. Go to inks. Where's my swatches? Did I turn them off? I turned them off. Oh, okay. So I'm doing this page, and you'll see the purpose of it. The purpose of it is to begin this entire story. And he's more or less saying goodbye to his mom, because she has passed away, and he is getting ready to leave the town he more or less grew up in. There's a few religious undertones here, but what are you going to do? Oh wow, I went way out of bounds on that one. So, what we're doing here, we're going to add some texture. We'll work that negative space. I used to hate these exercises in high school because the teachers would always have to do it. No, We're going to exercise negative space so that we can train our brains to think about positive and negative space. And they always used to give me a headache. Oh, the same exercise was the upside down one, where they're like, turn the drawing upside down and draw it that way. Copy. Hated it. Hated it. Now here I am, almost 30 years later, doing negative space exercises as a grown adult. I'm doing it for fun. What's wrong with me? Ooh, I just thought of something great. Whatever it is. Texture, cross-hatching, right? Hatching 4. Hatching 1, hatching 1. So, great little trick that Clip Studio Paint has is that you can turn brightness into an opacity. So what that means is, what am I doing here? Oh, okay. Go here, amount of paint, go to 100. The density of the paint should be 100. The color stretch should be 0. The opacity is in it. The amount of paint should be 100%. It's just horrible. Okay, so we're experimenting when we really should be drawing. Remember what I told you about that? The special ruler. I just realized that when I threw the paint down, it snapped to the edge. And then when you see that, you see what I just did? With all the white in the background, the light source is coming from the front. So I should be putting it here. You're going to say to yourself, but Ed, you just erased all of that inking that you did just a second ago. Yeah, I did. But we're toying around with a personal project. This isn't something that, like, I'm under the gun to do right now. The ones that I'm under the gun to do, I can't show you guys. So I'm kind of doing these tonight so that I can build my base. I can build my fandom. Okay. So I'm going to cross over, go here. See that? Quick little texture. Nope. Now check this out. Edit, convert brightness to opacity. And we'll go the layer under. Oh, that's a soft light layer. Oh well. Well, you gotta believe me. There we go. Oh, cool. Alright, so nobody's watching right now. Alright, well. This will be the point where I'll say something really personal, because since nobody's around, it's not really embarrassing. So, he's saying goodbye to his mom in this story. And in the book, when I started writing it, I always knew that the jump-off point was going to be him saying goodbye to his mom. And just recently, I tried to reconnect with my birth mother, and I found out that she had passed away. No worries, no sob stories. Because I had found that she went on to have another son, a kid by the name of Billy. Billy's a good guy. I've met him, we've connected. Yeah, he's a good guy. And he's told me stories about my mom. He's my brother. But come to find out, things I forgot is I hadn't seen my mom since I was like in the single digits. Things I forgot were that my mom's family was heavily religious, and one of my aunts gave me a bunch of pictures. So I found that one of the best ways to kind of honor my mom is to make it so that when he's talking to his mom and saying goodbye, he is speaking to a religious grave marker, one with a cross on it. So, of course, I'm incorporating my mom in the place of Iggy, and just a whole psychological rigmarole that is playing out on the panels as well as upstairs in my head. One of the things that Joseph Campbell wrote about in The Hero Has a Thousand Faces is that, you know, it'd be like a tragedy, hero changes, leaves, that sort of thing. And that's what I felt I could do, is make Iggy have his mom pass away. What is that? Delete that. Turn that on. Select these halftones. Go here. Links. What is that? I'm gonna find what those little squiggly lines are. What is it? It's not on the fonts layer. Can't be on the backgrounds layer. Okay, let's do this then. Let's kill it. If it shows up again, it's on another layer. It's on another layer. Not on effects, not on flats, not on halftones, not on shade. Not, oh, there it is. It's on layer 1. It's on that soft white layer that I was playing around with. There we go. So I'm going to go back and turn all this stuff on. Oh, you know what? Because Alright. Don't be frustrated. It's okay. It's okay. Land or Cal brushing. On the flats layer. Now if you're looking at those little, the colors change there, it's, you'll see that little pink in there. That's on the sketch layer, which is right there, which I just turned off. It's a little sloppy, but that's okay. I don't intend to send this out to print.
Just yet.
Talking to me?
Mm-hmm.
What'd you say?
So just yet.
Just yet. I don't intend to send it out to print just yet. My boss says I'm not sending it out to print yet. I'm such a great wife. The reason why I mention that is because where the black lines are, in print it's a 4-plate process, or it used to be anyway. Now it's probably like 6, 8, however many they do. But old school it's 4-plate, and sometimes you get a shift and the colors come out from under the black plate and it messes up. However, I think nowadays everything is like digital printing, so it doesn't matter. I can put it wherever I want. And she's right. You know, it's not going to happen yet. Okay. This, it has to build a bit, to be quite honest. I'm going to do these strips. I'll do them once, maybe once a week, and they're going to look good because I want them to look good. And yup, okay, so that gray, then I'm going to do something like that. I want them to look good, and I get distracted. Nope. That's better. So I will put time and effort into them and make them look good. And once a week will be enough. And then I figure after about a year or so, there should be enough of a fan base, and there should be enough of a page count that I can do a print on demand. And it should work, right? And print on demand is the way to go. Otherwise, you have to have such a backlog of work that a publisher will want to be able to invest in your work, and they'll have to have the prospect of a return on investment. You know? Well, you only have a single issue. Who are you to expect that we're going to invest in distribution and publishing as well as production costs to get a single issue? I mean, that would, in my head, that's where it would be. All right, see? That's what I did. So let's zoom in. See, I changed the shadow on the stone ever so slightly, and then left the foreground to be darker, so there's a boundary, and visually it creates different planes. No, not those kind of planes. It creates a different plane of depth. So here we go. We'll turn this on, right? And we'll bring this up a little bit. And what's it say? The normal. Okay. density 56. Okay. So here's where we're going to start laying in figures. Kid standing, where do you think? Like right here? Right? Like that? And drop the brush. So what I have to figure is he's standing in front of a grave, he's sad, he's going to leave. So he's getting ready to say goodbye and go on this big adventure. So there we go. Figure holding at its finest. Okay. So now that we have the figure held in place, we want to give it a little bit of character. And we want it to actually have, you want to give it some heart. You know, you don't want to just have a stick figure standing there. Because a stick figure standing there is just, it's a waste. It's a waste of time. I don't want to look at it. I don't want to draw it. You don't want to read it. You want to look at it and you want to feel it, regardless of what you think. Because you know, anytime someone opens their mouth, there's always a naysayer. There's always somebody in the crowd that's like, I have to negate that because I have insecurity issues and I have to feel more important. It's a whole Freudian thing that, you know, whatever. So here, he's going to be sad. You ever stand in front of somebody's grave you really cared about, and you just want to tell them, like, hey man, I gotta go. I gotta leave you behind. A lot of this is going to be done in his eyes. You know, you see how his shoulders, I have his shoulders up high. If you're sad, your shoulders are high. You're slouched. You're broken. You're sad. And I really, when I draw like this, I really get into it. So you see that? So you can see him behind his head. Because he's sad. He's trying to rub his head and comfort himself. I mean, it happens. That's what some people do. You know? They have tells. And that's one of Iggy's tells. I'll rub his neck. And I'll touch his head. When Jack Kirby said that his characters had lived before, I totally get that. Like, I feel that. Especially with Iggy, because this guy is this is gonna be my therapy. That's what Skies Over Gutenberg is gonna be. At the risk of sounding like some head case with a pen. So you go to a grave, what do? What do you bring with you? You go to visit somebody you care about, you bring flowers. So that's what he's got in his hand. But he's sad, so his posture, the flowers aren't going to be up. They're going to be down. They're going to be drooping. Why would they be happy flowers? Why would he be happy to leave those flowers there? He would. He'd be sad. They might be bright, they might be cheery flowers because they're his mom's favorite, or they were, but he's not happy that he's going to do this. He's doing it because he has to. Now, one thing that I'm going to do is I am going to reference the cover. Because if I want the cover that I mocked up to be true, then I need to have, it needs to be the same. You need to have the same on the cover that you do inside. So he's wearing a t-shirt. Oh my god, okay, if I remember this, that was my old Carhartt jacket. I had this old Carhartt work jacket shell, the type where you would zip in the padded liner, but I only wore the outside. And on the jacket on the left hand side, I used to have my little cartoon pins. I had like a Flintstones pin, and I had like a Felix the Cat pin. It was just a really loose and durable jacket that I was just really cool with. I mean, it was the 90s, and I was into grunge, and I was just this cool. Well, I thought I was cool. I was a big friggin' nerd, to be honest, but that was one of my most endearing qualities, was that I was a little nerd. I think it still is. How do you like that? Let's get his backpack on. Now, let me drop the size of the brush. And we're going to go here. Wish I had the navigator. Oh, there it is. Yes, I've got the navigator panel. Come on. Keep up here. Okay. So a little sad look in his face. His mouth isn't open too wide. Like that. It's just going to barely be open. He's going to be saying like that. Does that look sad? Did I give him? Oh yeah, he does. Okay, good. So before I commit to actually inking, especially with my own characters, I like to make sure that I have the things in place that I need to, you know? I want to have my notes, and my notes are consisting of my sketches, really. Okay, so his hand is like that. I'm going to draw his hand first. This here, thumb goes down there. The reason why I'm doing that is so that I can draw the placement of the hair properly. It seems like a wacky thing to do. Like, why? Why are you gonna? His hand is roughing up his hair. because it's mine. It's not yours. And what might be good enough for you just isn't good enough for me. It's not. It's something that I want to take pride in, and it's something that I want people to feel. I say it a lot, or I might say it a lot as I'm working on this. I want people to feel this. I want them to look at this, and I want their hearts to break. I want them to feel the connection between themselves and their life and this kid who's chasing his dream. And I want them to not give up on themselves, no matter what. And the only way I'm going to do that is if I draw this the way that I see it in my head. If I draw this exactly how it needs to be. Okay, so we'll do in here. Don't, that's just too big. Oh, come on, man. This, wow, that was way close, huh? That's okay though. Watch this. See how pixelated it's getting? Because once again, Ed is drawing on a raster layer and not a vector layer. Here he goes. I learned my lesson last time. Yeah, no you didn't. Bump this up. Hey! There you are, buddy. It's been a while. So, when I started drawing Iggy and the Hooded Menace, it was in the 90s, and it was back when Disney was doing a lot of pretty okay movies. So a lot of the stuff that I learned here, a lot of the stuff that I do here, is stuff that I saw and I felt in Disney movies. Like the knuckles that I'll draw in this book, where they're a little beady and they've got little curly cues in them. I picked those up from Tarzan. I think it was Tarzan. And Hercules. It's a lot of stuff that I learned by watching Chris Sanders' Major Damage. There's a lot of stuff that I watched by watching Mr. Bancroft work, watching a lot of Glenn Keane stuff from Beauty and the Beast, especially in Tarzan, with the fluid animation and just the energy that he put into that. I learned so much from Disney, even though I'm a huge Hanna-Barbera fan. And honestly, anybody who knew me in high school, they'd be the first to tell you that I hated Disney. I thought Disney was the worst. I thought they were just like this big corporate machine. And, you know, to one degree or another, I was right. Back then, they really were. They were more interested in making money through their live-action movies than they were about, you know, increasing the value of the animation department that they had. And, so that's back then. See, look at that. See what I'm doing there? Come down here. He's got this scrawny little neck. I really did have a scrawny little neck. Now I have a fat chin that just juts out of my shoulders. The self-deprecating humor. My wife says that I wasn't very handsome back then, but I am very handsome now. I'll take it. This is where confidence lines will get you. I try my best with drapery, and I haven't mastered it. I'll be the first to admit it. Much like I haven't mastered hair. D-Fish, who came on to one of my streams the other night, she was saying the same thing. Hair is really a pain to draw. But I will try, and I will work towards doing my best. I understand, like I said the other night, I understand hair, I understand where and how it's supposed to go, but it just gets a little difficult going from knowledge to action. So, let's go like this. So a lot of times on a jacket, you'll have that little band at the bottom. It's like stretchy, but it's cloth. Most jackets are cloth. You know what I'm talking about? It's ridged. It's more fabricy. This jacket that I draw, Iggy in, it didn't have that. It was just all cloth, and it had little buttons, and it was the coolest. It was like an actual work jacket. I was such a fan of it. I'm still a fan of it. If I can get that jacket, I'm totally getting it. Okay. I can't imagine it was an expensive jacket. I think I got it at like Salvation Army or something. Because, you know, that's what it was cool to do back when Heathers came out. It's still cool. Like I care. He's a poor kid. I'm gonna go shop at Salvation Army. I don't care. I had style. And the best chucks. And Argyle socks. I used to wear these things called bow biters. This is a dork. They were these little cartoon heads that you would put on your shoelaces, and they were supposed to make sure that when you tied your laces, they didn't come untied. Sincerely, they were for little kids. But I had this bow biter collection that was just like nobody's business, man. It was so cool. I also had Pez dispensers too. I used to carry Pez dispensers with me all the time. But my bow biters were just the best. You'd go on my little chucks, and I'd have like Gonzo. You open up Gonzo's head, tie your laces, boop, close Gonzo's head. Your laces aren't coming untied. But yeah, that was the level of dorkdom that I had. You know who could verify this? If my friend Sean was watching. Sean could have verified this. My friend Mickey definitely could have verified this. All of the bull biting and Pez dispensers, all that good stuff. Getting in trouble. Alright, so there's Iggy, right? Ah, what did I just do? Give me a second. Am I on the wrong layer? I'm on the wrong layer. I have to go above it. Dude, I'm going to cause problems here. I'm not going to cause problems, am I? Ooh, I'm going to cause problems. I don't think I am. No, I'm going to be good. Okay. Go to tool, lasso, floop. Okay, so here, dude, add, I'm going to go here, I'm going to start here. Oh goodness, okay. X, paste, label that Iggy. And the reason why I'm doing that is so that I can ink Iggy, then erase what's going to be below it, and then I can fix it, you know? Because if I leave them on the same layer and then I go and I erase stuff that's overlapping, it's going to cause a problem. The lines aren't going to, it's going to make it more difficult. Okay, so Iggy's right there. That's his leg. Oh wait, what did I do for that? Oh, he just had loose jeans on. Yeah, I was always wearing loose jeans as a kid. Like super loose jeans. I made it a joke. I would buy jeans that were like way too big for me. And put like one of those web belts, like a military belt. The type you cinch down, like the Boy Scouts wear. I'd have one of those on. Saying about you, it's about Iggy. Yeah, I know, right? It's about. So we're gonna go to the sketch layer. I will run this up to 100. Go here. Then bring this back down to about 56. And then switch over to the brush. And we're on sketch layer. So like this, right? So the hand, actually, just do that. So I'll clean up this little area so I can just draw. Right, so knuckle up, across, like that. No, because it needs to go like this. Like that. It needs to go like that. And the opening needs to go here. Why are you going to be so meticulous? Again, I'm drawing. How many fingers did I draw? Did I draw 4 or 3? He's got 3. I'm drawing 4. I'm going to draw for it. I like that. I'll do like that. Go like this. Bouquet. I'll draw the flowers on top of it at a time. Switch over to the black. Where's my inks there? Iggy. So that's going to come up from there. These inks down so they're not. Like that. Okay, so it's always like this. Okay, so that's going to come up here. Yes. We've got a floral bouquet paper. I've never made a floral arrangement, so if this is wrong, I apologize to the florists that are watching this video. Feel free, correct me. Oh, hey, Emily. How are you? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention. I was drawing. I know I have it right here so I can monitor it, but I just got so into what I was doing, I wasn't paying attention. I'm doing well, to answer your question. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? Again, I'm getting distracted here. I apologize. Yeah, it's been people coming in and then going, which I'm cool with. So that's why I'll occasionally look up. There we go. So there's that. And even the flowers droop down, which I think looks pretty good. The hand is way too big. Sketch, turn that off. The hand's way too big. But this gives me an opportunity to scale down the hand and to make more flowers, which I'm cool with. Why not? Just okay? That doesn't sound good. There we go. Erase that. Push too hard. Wound up getting a fatter line than I wanted. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Is everything okay? I mean, like, you want to tell me on an open forum like that, that's a ridiculous. If you want to talk to me later or talk to Otto, I'm totally cool with that. Yeah, let's do this out in the public. I don't know what I was thinking. There we go. Flowers. I'm not liking these. Maybe I'm too much of a perfectionist, but I don't like those. Now, I'm going to do this. Make a leaf. This little stamen and pistils, because I really wasn't paying attention in biology class, but I guess that's what it's called. Oh, man. Well, you're not alone. That's the good thing. Everybody's going through it. I know that might not help. It might, because sometimes a lot of people, when they go through stuff, they just, even if other people are going through it, they just take it really, really personal. Like it's all of them. But it seems to be going around. A lot of people feel that way. A lot of people just feel like they're coming apart. And it helps to have people to talk to. It helps to have people to kind of like just vent to. And it just, for the past year, the world, Americans have been dealing with a lot of stress. There's been a lot of uncertainty as far as like health is concerned. There's been a lot of uncertainty as far as like money, job status, political stance. Like a lot of things are just up in the air for people. So at some point, all that stress is just going to give. So it makes sense that people are feeling that way. I'm not saying it's right, and I'm not saying it's good. I'm just trying to offer up an explanation to comfort you a little bit, I guess. If that helps. And I don't want you to feel like I'm blowing you off and just giving you like the 10,000 feet view. I think it just helps sometimes when people put things in perspective when they're having hard times like that. Like, why do I feel this way? Well, it's possible that you feel this way for this reason. When I had my heart valve replaced, I was in my apartment. It was all by myself. I was hanging out. And I was feeling super depressed. This is way before Autumn and I got together. She's always been my bud, but there was just times when she was working, so I really couldn't talk to her. But I like to figure things out. Why am I feeling this way? What's going on? So I had to do some research, and I had to look around. I had to look up what was going on with me, and it turns out that there's a form of depression that is actually native to people that have had heart surgery. It's like a specific depression just for them. And it made me feel a little bit better, I mean, of course, I didn't feel better because I had depression, but it helped me to understand that I'm feeling that way because of the fact that my body's healing. So that's why I offered that suggestion. Yeah. Okay. So there he is. I can move him here. I'm going to change that sketch name. Oh, God, that is so all over the place. It's just he's got a big arm. I need to fix this. I can't just let this happen. There's the strap for the backpack. We can erase and clean some of that up. What that is. Yeah. No, it makes sense. Sometimes, you gotta get away from everything. What you normally see, you gotta kind of walk away from. Just give yourself a different perspective. Yup. It's like zooming in and out. I'm working on these cartoons. I can sit there and I can see them and see all the detail as I'm working on them. And everything's fine. But I gotta back up. I have to change my perspective on things so that I can see, oh, these lines are sloppy, or the perspective on this isn't right. Just like I did a few minutes ago. Now he looks a little bit more normal. This arm, though. Just like that. Okay, I just realized I am 20 minutes past the time that I should have stopped. 25 minutes, actually. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop. I'm going to make dinner with my wife, and we're going to have a good night together. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Feel free to share my videos or, share my art page. If you have any questions, want to get in touch with me, feel free. You can go to my social media accounts, whichever one you saw this on. I have a Facebook, an Instagram, all sorts of them. Feel free, and have a good night. Thanks for stopping in. See ya.